How's it going, Jets fans? My name is Alex with my co-host here, Ryan Moran. Today, we're going to discuss Tyler Conklin, what he's bringing to this Jets offense, the camp he's been having up to this point, and how he's going to help Zach Wilson really become a better quarterback with that just big red zone target, big body, security blanket underneath. So I'm excited to talk about Tyler Conklin, take a look at some of his highlights and what he's going to bring. But I do want to discuss Dwayne Brown, the signing of him. Yesterday during the podcast, I mentioned how a 2-year deal wouldn't be out of the realm because the Jets did not have a lot of money. And bringing in Brown for a 2-year deal, whether he ends up starting next year or being a depth reserve piece in case Mekhi Becton, can't play or whatever his future looks like. It is a little bit muddied right now, I would say. But having Brown on a 2-year deal, especially with George Fant on a 1-year contract right now, or at least in the final year of his deal, I think that's a huge bonus. 2-year, $22 million deal, so not overly expensive. The Jets get a really good player who has a ton of experience. They can lock down that left tackle spot. But I do want to have a little bit of a conversation about what they're going to do at right tackle. Do they just move Fant back? What do they do there? Definitely an interesting situation, Ryan. What are your thoughts about the signing of Dwayne Brown and kind of how that right tackle spot now shakes out?
For sure. I mean, it's exciting. I think we both really concluded with it yesterday. I mean, this was something that the Jets had to get done. Reportedly Brown had interest from other teams and even some competitive teams, but really felt good about what Saleh and the Jets are building and wanted to be a part of it. Obviously, I think the opportunity to step right in right away and start, at this point in nearly mid-August, I think is ideal for him. And I think I spoke on it yesterday. He's got continuity with John Benton. They were together for 6 years down in Houston with the Texans. So, definitely, obviously George Fant as well, the other offensive tackle he's going to be working with. So there's definitely some good relationships already in place for him to come in and really get himself acclimated and up to speed fast. Obviously don't think he's going to play in this preseason game tomorrow night, but hopefully by that second game, he's ready to go and get some reps. You just talk about the pedigree, the consistency, the just upgrade that was needed. I mean, we've obviously talked about, Becton and the exciting potential of Max Mitchell, but you couldn't really put him out there right away. And I think, it's ideal for him to really season and, grow as a player. And it gives the Jets kind of similar to what they had in Morgan Moses last year, just a proven player who, he's not elite. Like it's not like peak Dwayne Brown anymore, but he's still going to be a really good asset to this team and ultimately give Zach Wilson the, best possible support, to really see that second year jump.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, everything should be about Zach Wilson's growth right now, guys. Every single decision they make needs to be about Zach Wilson becoming the best quarterback they can be and exercising that rookie window and making sure that year 3 is where you're looking to make a postseason appearance. So with that being said, let's jump into Tyler Conklin. This is a pretty solid player, right? Tyler Conklin is definitely a guy who's going to bring a ton of value to the Jets offense. The question is how many reps is he going to get, mix in with Jeremy Ruckert and CJ Uzomah. I do believe that you're looking at a guy who's going to probably get at least a 50% snap count compared to the other guys. And, ultimately I find it interesting, like looking at his depth, is like receptions in terms of depth. I'll break these down for you. So behind the line of scrimmage, he had 8 receptions for 57 yards last year. He's really, really his most dominant in the short 0 to 9 portion of the field. So he's collected 366 yards and 3 touchdowns last year with the Minnesota Vikings. So he's going to be a great security blanket and red zone option in the 0 to 10 yards away from, the touchdown zone or just the end zone. Touchdown zone's crazy. But that short 0 to 9 radius, that's where you're going to see him really make his money. That's where he's going to be the most impactful, the most beneficial piece of this offense. For Zach Uzomah, in my opinion, actually is a little bit better, pushing him downfield, attacking the seams, using that speed. And Jeremy Ruckert is a really good blocker. I think he's your 3rd tight end. It's not a bad problem to have that Jeremy Ruckert is your number 3 tight end right now and just developing and learning behind the scenes. Conklin is a proven player. He's done over a couple seasons with Minnesota, who've had a decent offense, not the best in the world, but definitely not the worst. So I do like him a lot as a player who's going to make an impact and help Zach Wilson develop here. What are your thoughts on Conklin, what he's bringing to this offense?
For sure. I mean, really, for the longest time, the Jets have lacked a true, even just a solid, like pass catching tight end who you can rely on week to week. And Conklin, to me, provides just that. I mean, recently turned 27 years old. Obviously, the Jets signed him on a 3-year deal. So, you're really expecting him to be at his best over these next few years. And look, he's missed 1 game throughout his career. Heard Michael Floor speak on not just the game to game and the regular season availability, but practice to practice. I mean, this is a guy who's going to be on the field be available, really going to get as many reps as possible within his system and with Zach Wilson to really get things up to speed and, make this first year, right away a success. And to me, you look at his first 3 years and just how minimum, the lack of involvement that he had in their offense. He had 43 total targets last year. That jumped to over double. He had 87. PFF only had him with one drop on a catch ball pass last year. So this guy's hands are basically automatic, very strong. A couple of his other top attributes, running routes, he can consistently create separation. I think he's going to be a security blanket for Zach, like you said, underneath, over the middle. He's going to make his presence felt. The run and pass blocking element that this guy brings is definitely going to be on display as well. So he's got some of those, good complementary skills to what you said with CJ Uzomah, a little bit more athletic ability, size, downfield presence. So I'm excited about Conklin. Obviously, there have been some reports that have come out that the Jets internally, they liked Conklin, but even they've been impressed to the point where he's exceeded their expectations already. And I think he's someone you can really expect to, build on his stats from last year: 61 catches, 593 yards, 3 touchdowns, on 87 targets. If that target amount jumps, which I expect it to, it continue to expect a rise in Tyler Conklin's production his first year with the Jets.
Absolutely. So let's take a look at some of his clips here. Definitely a very interesting player who can do a lot. Let's take a look. All right. Into scrimmage. Nice, getting some separation. You're going to see him a lot against you're going to see him a lot against linebackers. You're not going to see him very often against safeties and corners. He's just a big dude. He's going to hunker down in the middle of the field, big body, just collecting. So let's take a look.
He has a couple of these impressive catches down the field too throughout.
That big frame, possession 50-50, nobody else around. Strong hands. I mean, that's just what I like, man. This is great. This is it. Okay. Having watched Evan Ingram, having the unfortunate situation of watching Evan Ingram catch footballs the last couple of years, this is if you're a Jets fan, it should be like music to your ears, or looking at gold, because when you see a guy that has hands that may as well be the feet of a baby, they're soft, nimble, drops everything. This is what this is what good hands look like, man. You have a guy close in coverage. He's reaching his hands out. He's squeezing that football. That ball's coming in hard from Zach Wilson. He's throwing an absolute dart to get that there in time. Strong hands. He's holding onto the football, and then he's going to clutch this and move upfield. I mean, that's what you want to see, man. Good hands. He can extend. That's what they teach, man. You have to be able to catch with your hands and not your body, because the ball will bounce off of your body. But this is really good stuff here from Conklin. This is what you want to see if you're a Jets fan. Let's see. This is a nice little release. I mean, look at this release for a tight end. Little jab step in and beats.
To stack him.
Uses his hands. Yep. Stacks him, and look how he uses his arm to create separation, but he doesn't push off, right? He just extends, bam, just a little bit. Just enough to give him some space.
Yep. Hand-eye coordination.
Right here. I mean, that's great stuff right here. When you have 1v1 situations like this, and you can just, bam, a little bit of separation. You're not pushing off. You're just extending that arm. Not enough to draw a flag. That's good stuff right there. And then you can high point that football. He's much taller than a lot of corners. A lot more physical in addition to that.
See some of his pass blocking here.
Is that against Bosa?
Yes.
God. I mean,
so this guy can
do this
as well.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
One-on-one too in space. Yep. I mean, he's tough.
I mean, he's Nick Bosa, bro, against Tyler Conklin. I mean, that should be a winning battle every single snap for Bosa. This is a wild play. If you're a Jets fan, screw the freaking receiving. Look at him block Nick Bosa. Are you kidding me? Zach Wilson's going to be buying this man a huge car, something nice for Christmas. This is going to be nice. This is going to be good for Zach Wilson. That's the underrated part of this. He's a great blocker.
Absolutely. See some of his route running on display. Hands once again. Yeah, that's
That's great because he's coming. I mean, you got a guy coming over top here. This ball has to be on the money from Kirk, obviously. But if you're physical enough as a tight end and you can just put that body in front of a corner or defensive back, that's all you need, man, to collect that football. That's some good stuff right there. I mean, the route is telegraphed. The safety should be able to. If this safety is any deeper, this is a pick six. right? But like, just good enough, just had enough depth on it. So do his quarterback a favor there and put it outside the number so he could collect it without any risks. That's good stuff, man. This is, a good player in Tyler Conklin. I'm definitely intrigued to see how he continues to, adapt to this Jets offense, how they utilize him. Are they going to push him downfield? Are they going to use him more as a security blanket? Clearly he has a lot of qualities, especially in the run game. Breece Hall, Michael Carter, definitely going to thrive with him. Leading the path, if they're running those outside zone, you're going to need your tight end to get to the second level and make those blocks against linebackers, make those blocks against safeties and nickel corners. They're going to have to do that stuff. And, maybe a chip on the defensive end, get out to the second level. This is a guy who can do that. He's athletic enough to get out there quickly. He has good hands in the receiving game. This is going to transform that Jets tight ends room. Because what do you had? Chris Herndon, you ended up trading him. You got Ryan Griffin. And who's the other guy that you had last year?
It's been bad.
Yeah. Dustin Keller was the man. I remember Dustin Keller was just an absolute beast. The injuries definitely hurt him a little bit, but like Conklin is also reliable. That's another thing to throw into the mix. He's healthy. Like he's a healthy tight end. Uzoma had an injury last year, but played through it, tough as nails. He obviously is helping change that culture. The whole tight ends room is like probably one of the most improved groups on the entire team this year, I'd say. In terms of just adding new. Other units had Elijah Moore already, had Corey Davis, already had Michael Carter. I'd say cornerback and tight end, two of the most improved positions on this team. Any last thoughts on Tyler Conklin?
For sure. I mean, he's definitely had a strong camp, which doesn't really come as too much of a surprise when you look at what he did last year. I think the last thing, the last 2 days, both he and Zach Wilson have been made available to the media. And obviously their connections really started to grow, and it's been well documented by the media, and, it's been out there for fans to see. And obviously in a couple of those clips, you see the green and white scrimmage, a couple of the practices. They've definitely made some, good connections, and they both spoke on their chemistry and really how it's grown. Zach really likes his skill set. Conklin spoke on the fact that they're really just getting to know one another, like within the offense, what does Zach see and how they communicate things, and really, how Zach sees Conklin and vice versa. So it's definitely good to really see that rapport growing. And look, the toughness is there, the durability, the availability, all those things. And the two most important elements to playing receiver, tight end, running routes, creating separation, and just being able to reliably catch the football Conklin has. So really excited to really see him come into his prime as a player here.
Absolutely, guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts below in the YouTube comment section on Tyler Conklin. As always, my friends, if you enjoyed this video of Fireside Jets, make sure to like and subscribe. Tomorrow we got the preseason game, so I'll be watching that, getting you guys some clips, takeaways, highlights. As always, got you guys covered. We're getting close to 1,000 subs here, which would be really appreciated if you could help us out. And we'll keep producing the great content for you on the daily, as always. So hope you appreciated this video. Make sure to subscribe below, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode.